Say this like
What a beautiful song to say good evening to welcome. I'm Afonso Zayansot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. This is All Things Considered. right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. We want to welcome our viewers, listeners across the globe. Joe, good to have you, of course. Fatu is just right. And Tom here is here. Good evening. I believe we all listen to a bizarre press statement today. It's a statement from the former president. We want to say that. We want to give you the opportunity to also express your view. Mother Teresa, why is in the moment? Good evening, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Tangazia is here. Mr. Tadolfo Zord. Good to have you here. Mami is here. And of course, that's Fatura Mami and Allison. And of course, our own Sisse Goyo / I will not call that name right now. We say good evening to good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here this evening. As usual, very shortly, the honors will be a lot is unfolding in the news cycle. And we intend to keep that conversation here fair, balanced, and proportional. But you know, I love this song here. I think this song will serve as a deliverance. When the going gets tough and the tough gets going, he is the guy that we can look up to make that way out of no way. And it's a gospel artist. Alice Newman, based in Des Moines. New release here. What I'm doing is a little bit quick housekeeping here. Stay tuned and welcome to the show. Just hit the share button and invite someone to join the forum here this evening because we're going to have a great conversation here this evening. So welcome to the show. So good evening, welcome. That's a beautiful song here this evening. To the show. Good evening. We say welcome. I'm Alfonso Z and so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Today is Wednesday when we say welcome to the show this evening. The analysts are going to be here. We're going to have a conversation, scramble over to national issues, and of course, it is always about making sure you also form part of the conversations. And we all saw what happens today. Of course, it's going to be a major delay, but we always keep the news proportional, fair, and balanced. But I know some of you don't remember, but we keep track. My guy is here. Mr. Bacon, I see you. I want to bring you in here. But let me do something here. And it's meant to remind people, because there came a time, I remember I went to Liberia and I'm not sure he was not the president, the former president, but politics, the musical aspect has become a bigger picture into it, in that it's a base to energize their base. So we'll see what happened. The former president spoke today. So we created a buffer zone with the former president and the certain president, Jose Nyoma, two doctors, Dr. Weah, Dr. Boyka. So what we did, we create a buffer zone. And we decided to go back into our chambers to see, because the former president, sometimes he said he wanted to talk to us. And some of us didn't listen, and some people listened, but whether it was all of us or some of them, Jerry, I see you, I'm going to be bringing you, don't worry. So let's do this, and now I'm going to bring in Jerry back on.
I will be coming to you shortly to ask you to renew for a second time the mandate that you gave me 6 years ago.
We will never pick up. We were definitely not pick up. We won't go to schools. We will not go to school. We won't get back in. We will not be in your hands. No, you are wrong. Nobody wants to order. That order. That's order. That order. That's order. That was people order. No, you are wrong. Nobody wants to order. That order.
Okay, Bakuba want to talk to all. He told us he wanted to talk to us. What are some of us? But I believe all of us. He talked to everybody today. Jerry Bako, including you, our man. Tanya James Kaba is our correspondent, national correspondent based in Liberia. Thank you so much. I tried reaching out here because if it is possible, I could still call you to see if we can get a take from you, the expressions and some of the things you gathered there today. Just give me a heads up if you are available, so we can do that. But we say good evening and welcome to the show. Jerry Bacon is here. This is your informative news magazine, All Things Considered, right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. What the hell am I doing here this evening here? Okay, some Santos time messing with my state. Mr. Bacon, good evening. So welcome.
Good evening. How you doing, sir? Welcome to our radio listener.
Yeah.
Abroad and home. So welcome.
Okay, good to have you. This is All Things Considered. Good evening, sis. Rita, good to have you back from a trip. And so there are other plenty of things to be done. And those of you, my God forgave me. What did you do that God should forgive you?
Compare your sin, He will forgive you.
You want God to forgive you?
No, so you said it's a God will forgive you. So I said, compare your sin.
You see, we start a program. We have not gone anywhere. You want to start trouble. You want to start confusion. This is not a liberal operating here tonight. You know that. So if you want us to be on a smooth and cool flow with what I'm going to be doing here tonight, that's it. You don't take it.
That's the own word. You know what Malcolm X said? You should put own words against them. So that the own word you just said. I think we can play it back.
Yeah, the liberal train. Okay, it's Mr. Bacon, good to have you here. So the major this is All Things Considered, of course. I'm not gonna be like the guy who tried to macromanage people. Your league is not mine. What you prioritize, it would not be mine. But of course, we all know the major news that happens today, and we are getting some information, and we're going to discuss it in full context. We will have our views and our opinions as well. And of course, as usual, the audience is going to form part of the conversation. So our guy was there today. He also did, and we captured the speech, just only the speech of the president. So we'll try to re-echo that, because sometimes excitement, feelings, emotion takes people away. So people listen over and over for us to have have conversations. So we're going to be doing just right that. But this is all things considered. Let's go into your political playbook. What is there this evening for us?
Oh, well, I mean, I listened to the president's speech, but I'm not going to the former president. I'm not going to dignify. It's not warranted. So there's nothing for me to talk about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do you have? So you don't.
Here's the thing. While the former president was speaking, Mr. Bakai was promoting peace to protect life and property. The national police, with the leadership, were having a retreat. They have a guest from the states who were teaching, who were lecturing them, training on leadership and everything. So the two view we have. So that's why I said I'm not going to dignify Mr. Bakai, a man of law, a man of principle. He said the Ministry of Justice will be independent, and this I think we're talking about. That's why the Minister of Justice, the MOJ, will be independent. There'll be no interfering with the executive branch.
Okay, well, it is at your choice not to speak to everyone, but we all know how the politics play into this here. But of course, it's news worth sharing, or we're going to look at it. But in the meanwhile, that happens to be big on the hook for me. So unfortunately, you have to deal with it. If you don't want to talk about it, that is okay. We want to talk about it. We want to dissect the speech. We want to look at every word that came out of the president, the former president, and if there's any implication, potential or not, what next, what does he hope to achieve with this? We have our own view. But our man, James Sanakaba, was the headquarters today with other journalists from other institutions, as the news hit yesterday that the former president are going to be speaking. It caught people's attention, and there are many reasons why it should cut people's attention. So we're going to roll this one here and listen to what the former president, surrounded by his partisans at the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Let's roll this tape and we'll have a conversation.
Here, His Excellency President George Manneh, we are speaking for the nation. Call to be attentive. Thank you.
So yeah, even though we are away
My fellow Liberians, on Monday, July 29, 2024, the Unity Party administration order heavily armed security personnel to carry out a series of lawful detentions of some former officials of government. While it's clearly political contended to target the coalition for democratic change, CDC, in the wider opposition community. Those detained include 4 former members of the National Security Council. The actions were taken of any indictment by a grand jury. This is the latest transgressions of the Bouakai administration in their callous attempt to undermine the rule of law and security of the state. Some of the open and deliberate acts being carried out by the UP administration include the harassment and removal of civil servant systems based purely along party lines. The excessive use of force against citizens result in several deaths. The non-prosecution of elections-related deaths that occurred on camera. The total disregard for the turning laws of the country, even in the face of the Liberian Supreme Court ruling. The broad day violence of the procurement laws of the country. This disgrace and denial of benefits of duly commissioned foreign service officials, even as late as yesterday, the president again showed to the nation that he is not a man who respects the rule of law, who he sought to illegally remove the governor of the Central Bank of Liberia in clear violation of the Act creating said institution. The Unity Party can be assured that the CDC will use all legal and political means at its disposal to resist this move to weaponize the country's judicial system to its selfish advantage. Yes, Mr. Waka, your action to politicize justice will be resisted and resisted strongly. The Unity Party government, in the execution of their civil and evil plan, choose to ignore legal and constitutional reliance, available evidence, and pursue reckless measures. The Unity Party must be reminded that these antics have only brought about disorder and confusion in Liberia's recent history. The national security laws of the country plainly stipulate the measures that must be taken to safeguard public order. In a post-conflict nation such as ours, it becomes an even more challenging task. Intelligence, gathering, and operations the world over have always been of prime concern and prime eminence, requiring authority to exert extra efforts and resources to preserve peace and security. The CDC-led administration remains proud of its record. We preserve the peace, security, and welfare of the country even during the raging COVID-19 pandemic, and at times when the security of the state was at stake. I'm also deeply proud of my record as president, particularly my unwavering respect for the rule of law and my relentless fight against corruption. You may recall that during my presidency, we advanced the fight against corruption on many fronts, including granting the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission LACC direct prosecutory power, which is critical to the fight against corruption. To sustain and further advance this fight, we should not allow anyone to erode gains we have made. To utilize its new power to fight corruption effectively, the LACC must treat all audit reports from the General Auditing Commission, the GSC, equally without cherry picking to ensure fairness and transparency, skipping previous GSC audit reports, and cherry picking to target only officials of my administration undermine the fight against corruption. The Liberian people must see such a move as a weaponizing of the LACC to witch hunt officials of my administration. Like you, my fellow compatriots, I love our country and I've always put our country's interests above and beyond my personal interests. I have championed peace and stability for man, advocating for a ceasefire during the Civil War, to leading disarmament efforts to bring peace, serving as the peace ambassador, and the most recent, by conceding the election even before the pronouncement of final result, you can attest to my selfless and unwavering commitment to the peace, stability, and the betterment of our poor country, our pure country. Sadly, it seems that the Boubacar administration is interpreting our commitment to the peace and stability of our country as a weakness, and therefore keen on disturbing the peace by weaponizing key government functionaries to wish-on officials of the past government. For the UP administration to exploit our legal system and risk fomenting chaos, it tells you to what extent some politicians are willing to go just to maintain power. This is exactly the path that the citizens sought not to tread when it maintained the stability of the country against all odds. While spearheading a peaceful transition of power to President Boubacar, in spite of a hard-fought and close election, these political detentions have, however, shown the lack of foresight and total disregard on the part of Boubacar and his confidants, caring less about the consequences of their actions, insofar as it served their narrow political interests. Fellow Liberians, the latter move was intended to divert public attention from the lingering economic crisis the nation faces and the uncovering of government use of public funds for the central bank to build out a private bank, which the Unity Party used to finance its elections campaign. It also comes against several instances of disregard of the country's procurement law, thereby committing the country hundreds of millions of dollars and the deadly robbery of 22 million under the guise of road rehabilitations among the glaring acts of corruption. Suddenly, officials who once gained notoriety for public theft now want us to believe they have transformed into referees of good governance. The CDC will be briefing its partisans in the coming days during a series of mass meetings about the dangerous games of witch hunt by the UP. I call on other members of the opposition to join us in this fight to preserve our political system. I will continue to engage with ECOWAS leaders who countries are given blood and tears to the attainment and sustaining of peace and security in Liberia, while notifying other international partners of this plan by the UP to capture the political system in its favor. I want to assure all that the citizens remain a party of law and order and will bring its full and immense political resources to bear to stop the Unity Party in its tracks. And Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, "It is not our diversity which divides us. It is not our ethnicity or religion or culture that divide us. Since we have achieved our freedom, there can only be one division among us, between those who cherish democracy and those who do not." Fellow Liberians, our country has enjoyed peace and stability for over 20 years, and the people deserve perpetual peace and stability. Therefore, the Liberian people must resist any attempt by the Boubacar administration to disturb our hard-earned peace. God bless Liberia.
Good evening. evening, folks. I'm Alfonso Z, and so the analysts have assembled cross country to dissect here, and I think I'm going to start the trouble here. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen for this former president to ever do. If he doesn't take time, he will end up being a Judy Bryant. I'm telling you. I'm just saying it. I know people are not going to be happy. I'm saying it because I'm sensing it out. This is the most ridiculous, and we are getting more development with respect to that. Calling on ECOWAS, we are now hearing ECOWAS have even sounding a strong warning. So that is out of the ball. Guys, let's have the conversation. This is the most, it's sort of important. We all were speculating. We are trying to soothsayer to see what the former president, I talk my own, but that seems not to be the case. But we're going to go in depth to this whole thing. I don't know who wrote that speech, how they got him up there to say those kind of things that he was saying, but we're going to go in depth. Terry, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening to the panel.
Yeah. How we, let's try, Mr. Back on, we here. Back on, he say, I don't know why he say he doesn't want to go there because maybe he and the seditions, they are still having whatever issue here, but we
no. You see, there's only got attention deficit. When a child crying every day, oh, daddy, I want this, I want that. You know, they want our attention. And I'm not going to go on the platform and get your the benefit of the doubt. So for that reason, I'm not going to waste my time on top of that. On 50 years. I waste my time. It's waste my energy, my time. So I'm not even going to address that issue. But yeah, what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say to the issue. Mr. Buckeye is a man of peace. Go back 2017 when he's maybe Joshua he delusional, or maybe he got some memory or something going on with him. When Buckeye considered, this is what Mr. Buckeye said. It's not on my watch. It's not on my watch. There will be no bloodshed in Liberia. So he's not the first person to concede, to say, oh, I'll lose the election. Okay, the election result, and he even come up and Buckeye say, on my watch or on my watch, I'm not going to be no bloodshed. So he know what he's talking about. So these are some of the things I look at. I say, you know what? It's not dignified. Hold on, I come, sir. It's waste my time and my energy to dignify all the nonsense he's talking about, protesting, weaponization, division. I wrote some of the things down. The justice system. He is one of the more, so look, it's wasting my time.
Oh, yeah, no, I would differ with you on that side. And the reason you see it as a waste of time, you are taking it on the politics level, which of course he's a politician. So when politicians speak, we speak. But we also have an obligation here to conscientize, to engage our audience, to pick those bad things from the good one, take the good ones, and have a discussion. It's not a meeting, so it's part of our job, and that's what we agree to. So
all right. In that case, I will address the issue. If in that case, I will address the issue. Well,
okay, before you address it, let me throw this.
I'll put my analysis hat on.
I should be the one to get upset to say I don't even want to talk about it. You're one of those who brought this alligator on us, and you left it. Now it turned wild. You're eating your own baby, and you say you don't want to talk. I should be the one. Maybe say I don't know whether Terry is part of that. So you should be the one to lead the talking here. Okay, but let's have the conversation.
All right, let's have the conversation going. Maybe
I know it's all things considered. I don't want to control people talking point here, but we all yesterday was wondering, like in the wandering land, what would the former president be saying to what's going to happen? Now it's out. So we need to give a sort of conversation, if you will. That's great. If not, you can go whatever way you want to go. Mr. Goya, good evening, welcome. Terry Collins, good evening, to welcome. Jerry, back on, you have to talk.
One time you speak to Terry now, you just spoke to me one time. You're scared before the bishop sent go out to you or what?
I ain't not go out business.
And I pray for our country to say that
you're the Imane can send go out. You're the come on.
Okay,
And
so
it's Zuden.
the reason for which I played that full text of the president's speech today is not a news conference. Then you would take questions. He didn't take questions, so I don't consider it. That's not a news conference. It was a speech, and he has the right to speak to his people, which is fair for us to mention that. But we can break down and sort of go into the speech. What is the takeaway? How he got to that point, and we all going to have a different views. So let me just start with you, Mr. Bacon. Now, you agree to talk about it, right? Or you still...
No. You persuade me, so I will agree to talk about it because of my position here. So at least I will talk about it. But what I want to start with first. The first paragraph, or the first sentence. First of all, he's no longer the president of the Republic of Liberia. He's a former president. He talked about the security of our nation. You are no more the president, Mr. Josh Weir. How can somebody who is in authority now who want to undermine his own authority on a security issue? Listen, go play the first sentence. That's very naive for you to say you try to undermine the security. You are no more a president. Now we have a sitting president who want to execute the law of the Republic of Liberia that was given to him by the people of the Republic of Liberia. So how can you come down and say he tried to undermine the security of the nation? That's the same statement he made way back. When people in America, he said they were a threat to the national security of Liberia. So he had to change the perception. He's no longer a sitting president. And like you said, look at CDC. I hope our journalists out there, they will show the vicinity of the CDC headquarters. They put him in a small room, and, like the janitor closet where he was speaking. CDC, whereby he had made a public announcement that the former president was going to be speaking, CDC headquarters would have been on fire. And he said, CDC had the will. Folks, election is over. It's time for Mr. Weir to organize himself. If he want to come back as a president, if he want to rerun, that's fine. That's his prerogative. But he should not undermine the stability of our country in our nation. I will pause for now. I know there are a lot of stuff he said. I want to address them little by little.
Okay. Sister, you ever had a time to review, to listen to the script, the audio, everything?
I had the audio on playback. I must confess, I listened to it about 11 times because the first time I couldn't, it was hard to connect the dots, the logical dots. So I had to play over and over. And I asked some people for the transcripts so I could read it, but they promised and they never sent it. So
it was in the chat. You see it?
It's in the chat.
So I need to go look there. I've been in five
Messenger.
other places. Okay, in the messenger chat room.
Yeah, I think in the WhatsApp group too.
Yeah, I reached out to CDC folks, or should I just check in my own room? But look, this is hard to talk. But I see you don't want to be breakable call to deal with. So let me be on my good side today. The former president, His Excellency Dr. Bishop, Imam, and artist George Weir has the right to address the 5 people in a brown closet, according to Jerry Bacon. But I wonder how many of the really smart people that we know in the CDC, how many of them previewed this speech before the former president was rolled out to give it? How many people really had a say in a critical debate on the content of the speech before the most recent president and by all account, the leading opposition political leader in the republic was rolled out with this kind of a thing? I think this speech, whoever wrote it, did a disservice to the former president did a disservice to our democracy. Because when the likes of George Weah speaks, everybody should be listening because he has an immense following. To be given the attention of the Republic, and this is what you deliver? Wow. So let me start, you see, cherry picking. Let me start cherry picking some of the things. I don't know where we get cherry, bro. But I can make pepper pick, it's in it. So we both get pepper, we can pick it.
Indeed.
Better boy, you know.
You better allocate it here as well.
But I get it. I have the people. We gotta put on the water.
You go into a toboggy soup now. Where he
But on a serious note, President Weah spoke about LACC report targeting only his administration and then insinuating that the current president, current administration should go back to previous administrations. Mr. President, Dr. Weah, you outsourced that responsibility, your constitutional responsibility. You had it in your hands. And you said we are related.
Finito.
You said we are related. You thought you were joining prosecution susu with the UP party. So that they don't want the first to eat. Now you're trying to eat one post susu. You want to call no, don't call no, yeah, baby. You're going to your susu on the other side. You ran on the two of the most cardinal things that you ran on to win election were that you were going to audit the corrupt Ellen Johnson UP-led government and that you were going to establish the War Economic Crimes Court. You came to power, you gave excuses, and you refused to do those things. Now, in 7 months, the sleepy old man, the man working city, and battery about to die, is doing those two things in 7 months. Then you say he must go back to your warehouse and go collect all the things that you can't clean it. No, but you keep that one, you clean it on your own. And then he talked about, which was weird. He mentioned that there was no election-related death on camera. Well, how did that whole thing fit in under his administration? And then I started thinking about, FOIA. Remember what happened at
FOIA.
Yeah.
Thomas Farah House, yeah.
Then I started thinking about the freeway.
Even at the police station.
Between ARCOP and CDC. Then I started thinking about Jefferson Kochi going behind the line to rescue a man then when Taylor Uridan ran for that election. And I'm thinking, wow, we already rewriting our own history, writing our history right in front of our eyes. We still living and they're changing that.
Okay. Let me hold you there because the soup here, I think.
Oh, that's what I even start getting the snail then outside yes, the car cleaning. So yeah, let me hold there for now.
That's it. It's a difficult one. I see why our leaders always in problem. Let me go to Terry. Terry?
Yeah, you see, it's hard to really talk because for the political side, President Weah is speaking to a certain mindset of people. We got to understand that. He's speaking to his base. Politically, President Weah now has gained momentum. He took advantage of the weakness of the government, President Boyka's government, and he bounced back some way, somehow, when he came on the radio and spoke after that setback, comeback scenario. And we saw when he came to the country, those boys were literally prepared to break the rule. Because as far as they are concerned, the leader has spoken. That is the Liberian mentality right there. Especially the naive ones who don't understand. They just jump behind President Weah. Oh, yeah. Zekwe, all the kind of thing. And President Weah knows how to do that. Even watch the campaign. He went to certain places and said some strange thing that you, as a rational guy, say, and Mr. Bacon know that was not true. But he was saying it to a certain category of people that he knows have huge following. All right. So I think to me, it was a great political boost. Because right after that, you saw his base. What is that doing? And that is the CDC right there for you. That is the CDC that gave Madam Selig rough time for 12 years. Listen to Akaris Gray the last time on Spoon TV. Listen to the guy, Jefferson Koji, keep talking. And the only thing that really I'm regretting is this, is that the opposition, Mr. Cummings, or Taiwan Gonglo there, they are saying absolutely nothing. They are saying absolutely nothing. That is the dangerous part, Mr. So. For me, that is what I'm looking at. Because if Mr. Cummings is saying that I am eyeing the presidency for 2029, and Mr. Gonglo is saying I'm eyeing the presidency for 2029, but I will see all these kind of gangsterism, people coming in the street talking about how they will follow their leader, all those kind of thing, and they absolutely said nothing. So what time are you waiting for now for the Liberian people to follow you now? Because these are the times that you're supposed to be able to address some difficult issue, send some rebuttals, and let the people, the world know that you are not on the side of this kind of mentality. We expect them to speak. Equally so, President Boka have not been doing well. He has not been doing well. In as much as President, we are lie or lot in our speech, he lie plenty. You know, but President Boka, what are you doing right now here in the judiciary? They're in confusion. That is why one luminary from the judiciary said, President Boka, if you don't address these things, how do you expect for cases to go to the judiciary for the people for you to win a case? How you expect the judiciary already corrupt like that? How you expect to carry case to the judiciary for you to win? When you and the judiciary you're in your small jiggy. Then the horse, President Weah is speaking with confidence. You know why? Because apparently he thinks that the horse is going to back him. And don't forget, CNN was President Weah speak. Right now, as we speak, they are the presidential order, the how you call it, the executive order for the assets recovery. The Supreme Court have put it on hold. You understand? What is President Boka doing about that? How are you going to persecute? How the auditors will prosecute these cases for it to be successful when you and the judiciary in Chamberlain? So what I'm saying is that President Weah is seeing an opportunity that he feels that he has the confidence to speak, because I want to look at his backing. He feels that there is a backing, there is a stronghold that he can rely on, that he can depend on, that will help him. I don't think he's looking at people ready coming on the street to create chaos. I think that is the last result. President Weah is looking at the house, the strength that he has in the house, and also the strength that he has in the judiciary. And with all this shenanigans going on, President Weah feel that he got hope. That's my point, Mr. So. That's my position.
Okay, I opened it up already. But one thing he doesn't understand,
Stop
and
grounding.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, this thing sometimes they are. Yeah, myself one gay on a speech. You know, something they don't. He doesn't understand, and people not even taking it into consideration. This is a big deal to have your former finance minister. I don't know how they see it. I don't know how they are processing it. It is a big deal. Nkrumah, former President Nkrumah in Nigeria today, there are some of these things. It is a former deal and from big deal. And for he to come out to speak the way he spoke today, CBL, he's on a suspension. He's not dismissed until the government say until he can be fully exonerated. We do not know yet. Towards saying he's going to be coming back. What are they going to cooperate with the investigators? You remember the case of Michael Cohen and all of those things? Now, the question would be all of these things, if all of these things are proven to be right, on whose audit, and we are getting more audit little information here. And the whole thing said that one that even tipped me off here, he owned this thing. It's not Joseph Boyka.
Right.
The whole other thing is not Joseph Boyka. He is the author, the origin, the chief architect of this whole thing. He is. You see, I said here yesterday, I said, politicians, you should have an exit strategy. And when you go somewhere in a place, people sitting there, don't see everybody sitting in a hole, take your time to walk around to see where there's an exit. So in case of anything emergency, you will get out. CDC, they didn't do it. There was no contingency plan. They just stuck their hair one place, 2029, 8 years, how do you call it, sir? That was 8 years.
24 years, 25 years.
Yeah, loading. And it just think by
Well,
calling
so let me have an emperor. Say you're going to be an emperor.
by just calling that, they're going to be happening. I was
The benevolent dictator. I don't know, benevolent dictator.
I was told today. This is serious. To be honest, I feel bad because we are former President and he also should be responsible, because if you are a leader, you have to make some tough decision. You talk about people violating Constitution. You forgot what you did to where it needs Milton Weeks. SLE?
Yeah.
The Constitution wasn't violated. Give me a break.
Even Kabina Jane.
Brani Samukai.
Kabina Jane.
Kabina Jane. In your inaugural, that was one of the pillows you are going with. You're going to fight it. And these people, what happened? You decide to wave a white flag, you drop it. You don't know that you are going to be going. It's up to you. Well, since you took the Holy Bible on the game of politics, is it? But the thing about it is, they knew what were going to become. They knew what were going to come. Not that it's a surprise. They knew it because it is not Joseph Boyka audits. That's the first thing we need to establish, which is not his audit.
This government has not commissioned one audit yet.
No. It's something from them. They knew it, they were dragging it, and I was shocked today. And let me just put it out, and I'll come to Jerry Bacon. They didn't listen to Musa Dane. This guy, anti-guy, they didn't listen to it. And this information started coming out little by little. That money issue there. How the heck the minister proper is in country, he has gone to Lofa and ministered. Who authorized you to be an acting minister to authorize that disbursement? What sense does that make? He's not out of the country. National security, whatever. What you got to do with that? And you just do chaka thing like that, and you think your footprint is everywhere. And that's what I'm saying. It's a big trouble. We're taking it for fun. And you think going out there, talking about that ECOWAS, we've been told, ECOWAS already told him, hey, old man, calm down.
But the first thing they meant did not respect ECOWAS rulings. When ECOWAS ruled in favor of so many people against his government, he ignored it.
We've been told late this evening. After that, not only ECOWAS. I think you still have a chance. I thought yesterday when this whole thing, maybe we're going to call Mr. Tue, surrounding himself to cooperate with the investigators and speak what he knows about, what he doesn't know. But now you have your finance ministers. So how can the finance minister, how can the CBL governor, all of these disbursements that we are saying, without the acquiescence of the president? I'm not saying he did it, but that is trouble because you never know. We don't know what they're going to say. We don't know what kind of deal they're going to cut with investigators or with government. You had this thing on your decks. Even talking about that is stipulated. That's why you have executive order. If you feel or you felt something was wrongly done by the past administration, put your pen to use, and you had the house in your favor, and you could have revisited that. But you give them whatever percent you want to give them, and you think the man gonna come when he was talking, you think he's gonna get go. Jerry Bacon, let me just bring you in. I don't know who did that speech. I don't think they did the president well, because those things that he thinks, he talks a lot of things that could call him for further clarification. He talked a lot of things that can make government, any certain government that is concerned of the security of the state. He, as a former president, I'm not going to overlook that. He does have supporter. He does have follower. They can say anything and they can do anything. So for he to speak the way he spoke today, using some specific words that were with this sort of connotations of security threat or some sort of uprising, I don't think that sort of dirty work should have come from laymen, seditions, or other hierarchy. Not he as the big door for the CDC. Let me just bring you in. You are a security guard. When people, as a former president, say, you know, he said a lot of voice.
Mr. Independent.
I mean, I'm just saying that as it should be, because people will not get it, because the thing, and that's how they like politics. I favor you for them. When you stay on the other side,
I tell you,
Mr. So, hey, people then,
I tell you, they will fight and settle the flower.
Go flower. So my hand is
I represent the voices of all. I know that you guys want to be political, right? I'm looking at the bigger picture. Calling in your finance minister, because there will be nothing be done. I am not adjudicating him now to say this is what happened, but I'm saying that's a concern. We don't know what happens. Now it's just only they have not even gone to 100 cases. 100, that's not a small thing. They have not even gone to Maritime. They have not gone to water and sewer. They have not gone to other places. The thing about this photo, you had the lucky to either throw it in the deep sea or do whatever you should have done with it. You didn't do it. For whatever reason, God one knows. Maybe the mindset was you're going to get re-elected and then everything's going to be watered down. I think, and that's the point that we're talking yesterday. There was no SF strategy on their part to say, hey, if this fail, what next? And those are the kind of alternatives you always want to create as a human being. You can't just go one way to say you succeed. Life is ups and downs. It's a loss and gains. Uncertainty is involved. Jerry, back on.
See, I think yesterday, we talked about the security issue about Summer 2 and things. Security had to be on highlight because this thing got a lot of implication when it comes to the issue, especially former Minister of Justice, former acting Solicitor General. You know, there's a lot of top official government who had warrant or somebody had been surrounded. So they have a lot of followers. But yeah, that's the interesting thing, the president, I want to go back. He talked about ECOWAS. Now he going asking ECOWAS for intervention, or ECOWAS, he's going to relate to ECOWAS. Where was he when ECOWAS asked his administration to pay Nesedo? Up to this time, Nesedo are not being paid. So how can you honor these people now that the same people they told you, say, you owe the former first lady her money, or her husband money, or benefit? Pay her. Pay her. You never pay her until you left office. Then at the same people today, you say you're going to go back to them and ask them, you know, for intervention, or you're going to appeal to them. But let's look another subject. You talk about LCC. Who created it? Yes, who created it? It's under the administration. So Joseph Boakai is just following why they have left there. That's why he are following. He said, okay, LCC, let's do it. You do the recommendation, I will follow it. I'll send it to.
Are you there with us, back on?
I think he froze.
Yeah, maybe he too. Maybe they have indicted him too.
But President, we are made Mr. Bacon to leave. That one he didn't get the advice to throw the key in the sea. Because the security advisor are going to tell you to the key, throw it in the ocean.
The special advisor on how to destroy evidence, right?
Yes.
He president
would not coming back for you.
I would say literally they grabbed just black eye.
When he come out, say go away.
I was the president of the Senate, and all kinds of constitution was signed. He went flat to him. So you think he's gonna do it back to you? No way. The guy is frozen, so he's gonna come back.
Mr. So, you know, I understand, you know, Terry, you struck a really good point.
Yeah.
You know, the other side of this thing, which is there's a political speech and you're giving red meat to your base. I get it. That is not lost on me. And that was really, really excellent point. But for the numbers pressing in me, I'm thinking about, you know, a pattern when George Weah, when Bakube speak, you see the amount of people that show up. So I look up, I saw about maybe 8 or 9 different videos on different networks today. There were practically no people. And so he's talking about organizing a series of mass meetings. The one right to the headquarters was not even mass. So where are you going to go organize a series of mass meetings? So for me, I think what has happened is in order for the CDC machinery to make up for the lack of attendance today, they try to make their digital footprint bigger. And that's what we saw with them everywhere on the internet. But you know, the CDC before, they would have been panning out, they would have been drones pictures.
So Sese, quickly before you carry your thoughts, another thing here. Is this what we saw today? Because when CDC, former President Weah, very popular, and seditions loves that high for him. With this here, is it fair to say then there is some sort of the party is said to is fragmented because one, they did not hold, the coalition did not survive, and that's a great.
The poll not let you to know, Mr. So.
No, but there's no
coalition did not survive because what that does, you lose member because those were the people who supposed to come and form that solidarity with you. They're no longer with you, so you're on your own. But the other party, but even all the inner cycle within the CDC.
But Mr. So, that was the thing I was looking at. That's what I was going to get to. You know,
different group that is created. So I mean, I'm just looking at the broader spectrums of the future of this party. That's what I'm looking at.
And that was what I was going to speak to when I was, you know, I listened to Terry. I'm like, yeah, that's a great point, though. You know, he's speaking to his die-hard. But I think that group is ever shrinking, Terry. That is what I'm seeing. He's still speaking to them. That's a fact. He still got a huge following. That's a fact. But I was looking at the people that were around him today when he was speaking. This, he's claiming, is an indictment on his administration and people who serve in his administration. I would have loved to see Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor standing next to him.
Right.
I would have loved to see Eugene Nangbe out there.
Yeah,
today.
I didn't see Eugene. I don't know.
No.
You didn't have any of those. And when you're looking at, did you see Representative Dixon Sibo? He looked like he didn't want to be over there all today. Just play that back and look at Dixon Sibo. It looked like somebody dragged the second flag out and just put it in the back there behind George Weah.
Who was the person? The person right behind the president. And
behind George Weah there by the guy next between the two berets, between the guy with the red beret and the blue beret.
Yeah, way in the back.
This is what his name what he said, Safoko right here, right?
Yeah, Safoko there. And then as you're going, you got a guy with a red beret.
Is that the navy blue right there?
Yeah, this is right behind the president, directly behind the president.
The person with the red beret that's in a normal. He's that Mage brother. He's the representative in Bapolu County, one district in Bapolu.
And then here's another thing. The Porcupine was not there. Bekukwe Jr. was not there. You can argue that the fall back to the lean back to the stay back to not come back campaign have more people on stage of higher caliber than what the president has surrounding him today. So I would have thought, and here's the mistake the CDC is making, because they made that mistake when McGill was sanctioned. I spoke about it here. So now they indict 4. You come and speak. So when they indict Eugene Nangbe, Will you come out and speak? As they keep going down, will you keep coming out and speaking? Or will you do that what you did to Nathaniel McGill when he was sanctioned? He asked for his resignation. But then when he came down to Koji, then I no people coming in, you ask for that only resignation, you just got tired now, you start, you did one, and you were done. This should have been a speech delivered by the party chairman. The party chairman would have been allowed to go this whole route, talk about CDC, you know the party doing this and this, but you as a former president, you have to be strategic. And you have to be, the Liberal process stingy. You have to be stingy with your speeches and your presence so that when you show up, it's so scarce that it's very, very important.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. Today, to come and say that the CDC is a party of law and order, yet somebody is using the law and the order. They didn't just go arrest people. There was a raid from a court. And like Terry said, the entire judiciary has not been touched. There hasn't been any nomination from Bwakame at the level of the high courts and any of those judiciary, any of those court at the Temple of Justice, except for the one person he just nominated.
Right.
So if you have the lack of CNN and you trust in the system, you trust in the process, this is your NSCC report. It's not Bwaka's commission report. So I would have loved, I kept listening. I wanted for the president to say, we are a party of law and order, and I'm asking all of my former officials, when or if you are indicted, follow the law. Get a lawyer, we will show up, and we'll go through the process. He should have ended this speech by asking Samuel Tuer to turn himself over. But he didn't. It kind of like he just decided to tire talking and finish with you in 11 when he carried the balance speech with him. You know, this was really weird. And as one person who belonged to the opposition bloc, because you call on the opposition from the Liberal People Party, Pape, we're not joining you. I'm not coming there. You go carry back.
But they did reach out to Gonglo regarding the tour, and I said that yesterday. And
that's the thing I forgot because I know Terry touched on that, and I said that I think it was months ago, and I said these opposition politicians were too silent. And Terry, you have a point. I think one of the things, and I'm going to say here without admitting that I've had a conversation with folks, is that there are some people, especially Tewan Gonglo, that see this thing as nobody's right has been violated. There was an audit report. People went to court. The court issued a warrant. Go and have a dance. Watch the process and see where it goes. And if your rights get violated, then people will speak. But beyond just this one thing, before this one thing, I've been asking for these opposition politicians to stop being quiet. Proffer to the Liberian people alternatives so that they understand that they have a lot of other ways to do the same thing. So they know how to grade this government. But you can be quiet until 5 years after now, then in 6 years, you come back and one can lay a whole basket full of the bad thing the government did. People will not listen to you. So now is not the time to be quiet. You have to speak up and you have to speak up.
There's a second component because 100 are not small thing. And they have all of their big guys that are in power. I'm not saying that all of them are going to be there, but most likely they're going to call, then they're going to be indicted. What does that hold? What would be the future of the party? If you have people like Samuel Tuer, what his name said, and other folks now, and more to come, we don't know yet, but obviously, definitely, it's going to be a big hit with all of what is playing within the cycle. Then what becomes the future of the party?
I can respond to that.
Okay.
Terry, go ahead.
No, you went off, so you go ahead. I will speak after you.
Mr. So, it was a blueprint.
I told President, we are recording you. That was
matter of fact, you must say we are first crossing though.
The thing that met up there, you can put it in your face now.
No, but the member said we are first crossing. No, seriously. He must say we are first crossing.
That cat can eat baby.
You see, in the rule of law, the Sunday they call disclosure. You have to disclose information. You go by the house, you got to get a history of that house and say, I not repair there, I don't do this, I don't do that. Because if you don't do it, they can hold you. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm discussing that George, we and myself, we are crossing. So it's not anything strange. All the time in CDC, I never disclose it because of certain reason, but now I can disclose it and say, yeah, you myself, because I'm a public figure now, right now, and I'm speaking on Liberian Public Radio. So I have to do that. I should be able to disclose it.
So the family party you are doing right?
That's what I just said. You see, it was not a family party. No. It was not a family party.
Mr. Bako, you open out the door. I want Mr. So walk
No,
right
no,
through.
I answer the question. You see, disclosure.
Disclosure what? After things all chakra before you did. Why you were there? Why you didn't disclose it? You left before. Please. Oh, you're the same problem. You all get problem in our country. You know what? You never wanted to talk about it.
I will talk about it, but I just wanted to make that point. But
okay, go ahead.
The blueprint was Eugene Namwe, Samuel Tour, James Corley. Let me see. I think Blesso, Jerome in Atlanta. It was a blueprint, and this is what's going on right now. That's why I brought some of the 2017, before George Weah could win the election. Eugene Namwe had already left the party. Mr. Tue and Mr. George Weah are not speaking. But they know that George Weah are going to win the election. How can Mr. Tue or George Weah reach to Mr. Tue and say he need to come back? And Samuel Tue was not supposed to be the Minister of Finance. There was a need that was out there before he could become a Minister of Finance. Wow. But yeah, what I want. Here's an important thing I want to break the news. It backfired because Tue himself was also ambitious. He wanted to run for 2029. Okay, 2029. There was a blueprint that Tue was going to run for 2029. So all the things we're doing here, the person running this, they're doing this. No, Tue already wanted to run for 2029. And 2015, when 2011, when Mr. Tubman, there was a conflict that Tue wanted to run, and they told him no. He couldn't run at that time. So these are the things today that's going on in CDC. Eugene Namwe or the other thing, they just came back because of they know Mr. Joshua want to win the election. So there's a blueprint to it. But here, what I want to say in the issue, one of the things, the president talked about resisting. Resisting what? You are the former sitting president. When you speak, people listen to you. Look, there's a gentleman, if you play the video, there's a gentleman that he said he was a former general with a hat. So you are citing these people who are former general. They are trickle happy. And it also is a threat to our society. You as a sitting president. And when you make these things, like my dear brothers say, I know who wrote that speech. Did he look at it? Or he was just there to provoke his follower?
Koji wrote a speech. Koji.
Huh? So, folks, we have to be very, very careful how we are proceeding in that country.
My man, Terry, I'm trying to find my way back to Lofa. Please don't call me my uncle. My word, make it peace small.
We
went through it. Clear for you, man. Don't worry about
it. We went through it for 20 good years. And we lost a lot of lives. And we don't want to go that part again. So, Mr. President, Mr. Former President, please, we have rule of law. If you want anything, since you have money, put out a bill so the guys can let two things say you can put out a bill. You got a lot of collateral. Yeah, you can use your jet plane, as a collateral. You jet back into RIA, so you're not using it right now. Use it as a collateral. Let two then he said you can even use the horse in rehab or the one on down street. You got a lot of property. That we're saying, let go through the justice system. If you're not guilty, they are not guilty, so be it. If they are guilty, let them face the law. So please don't be threatening the Liberian people or excite the Liberian people.
Well, it's Buffer Chambers. He was always with the president.
Then you go in your territorial cross. You go in your
Let it go
territorial
die,
cross.
then you asking for the beer. Anyway, let me talk about it.
Chimba is upset because he said that Funatikofa organized and engineered his defeat, and Funatikofa did it with the acquiescence of the unit of the CDC. That's what Baba Chimba said.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that.
You know,
how can a man get some ambulances to the paper, but they say the key were not working, so they have to be cutting the wire.
Like you see in the West here, people have each writer and stuff like that is these are people that's their specialty, that's their area, the occasion, the function, or the group, whatever you're speaking to. You want to have a coherent message. You don't want to be jumping here and there like spring fraud. You're talking about other things that it more or less is a campaign. We far from that. What we are about.
One thing he mentioned, and I was like, that's what we said. I asked how many people look at his speech. He talked about the foreign service employees that are being recalled. But who wrote that letter to the Senate? Wasn't it McGill that wrote the letter talking about people who were sent that were not qualified and not in the right process? It was his own McGill that brought it up.
Your boycott people, you guys are not my good friend. But the thing about it is, do you think if Donald Trump wins the election or Kamala Harris wins the election, you will go take Donald Trump people and send them to, you take people that you will work with. When they say, oh, let's reconcile, it doesn't mean you're going to take it. No, people who believes in your vision, your agenda. It doesn't mean you're going to take opposition people. No, these people, you have nothing in. You guys have different political ideology. What really getting me to me here in this thing here is President Weah. It was in his purview. This is something that he himself initiated. This is something that he himself established. This is something that he himself jump-started. And they talk about it, they just water it down, and here we come now. So the president, that his constitutional power. People that are in the foreign service, if they do not, if it is not comfortable with them to represent the interest and first and foremost the interest of the president, the government, because they are a direct representation, he can recall you. And nothing wrong with that. So it's not like people wish hunt. The very commission he started, it is based on that record. They are making a follow through now, something that he should have done. They didn't do it. And they put it down, dust went over it, and somebody pulled the cabinet down and then try to dust it off. It's not a witch hunt. I don't see it as a witch hunt. Nobody just want to throw you, whoever they have called, and I just want to throw them in jail. They're going to be a process. There will be a process. But what I thought he would have done as a former president, maybe to validate his he used some strong words that are not more or less a precedential. So, you're going to resist because you call for these things the last time you were there. You call for these things. These are things you said you're going to do. For whatever reason, who stopped you, why you were stopped, why you didn't do this. You have the Helen Johnson Salib people, the Noka, they mess it up and just came say, oh, apologize. But yet got over 5 million from the Ibrahim Award. You have the same very president who was the president of the Senate, presided over some funny thing, and you decided to wave a white flag. So now they say no, or the flag gone now. So we want to wave a red flag. It is their own creation that get them to be where they are right now, and that puts the future of the party. Honestly, that puts the future of the party, because if you have the financials of the party to be indicted and maybe possible imprisonment, or they just decide to leave for whatever reason. We're just having this sort of discussion. How does a party sustain itself? How can a party survive? You can have the members, but you need to have money to get the party to function as a political institution.
Yes, so Mr. So I agree with most of what we're all saying here. We are all in one accord. There are just few things that I think we need to look at too. For the president for him to be in the political space, he have to be popular. He have to maintain that level of popularity. And in order to do that, you have to be able to come up with some strategy to resist. Like for example now, right? The Samuel 12 scenario, he have to put up a stand in to pretend as if that they are fighting, they are trying to defend, he's trying to defend his people, which will show a level of leadership to his own block. Because if he just let it go and don't say anything, other people would think that, oh, you know what, President, we told you, President, we are so us.
So,
So he's saying, he's speaking so that other people, but like we all here, we're saying the same thing. President, we have made blunders and blunders upon blunders. You cannot be saying that, oh, how will you say that you were fighting against corruption when you fought against corruption? I thought that was not true. When you fought, how you fought against corruption, we don't know. You said you upheld the rule of law. How? You said the government is taking people, people from out of power, out of work. The people that the government, the CSA vetted people and found out that there were people on the payroll that are not supposed to be there. And the man came up publicly and said those who think that they were on the payroll and they were removed illegally, they should call. Or if you feel that you were removed from the payroll illegally as a civil servant, go to the radio station and have a discussion. Let everybody publicly see you. But since then, the people have dropped over 600 persons from the payroll. Nobody can appear on any radio, talk show, or anywhere to say, oh yeah, my name was removed illegally from the payroll. So where are these people? So it proves that you were running a government where you were just giving our money to people that you didn't even know. So there are so many irregularities and inconsistencies in our speech. Even the grammar was not well put together. But what we're saying is that is it helping his political sojourn? Because what happened here is that every radio station is highlighting. No, say you gotta tell them about that grammar. You really gotta. But because I read your speech, they say it was excellent. But take for example, what is happening here, Mr. So? Look at what is happening here, right? Every radio station, including the state radio station today, took over 2 hours to discuss President Weah's speech. And all of the things the president was doing, including the how you call it, the police were carrying on something very interesting that I thought would have taken the LPS, but instead they sat down to discuss the president's speech.
You know who done this? You know who done this? The whole morning stuff here, the 500,000, whatever, we brought the whole thing here. That's intelligent finance guy. Because, he did that.
Wow.
Well, he, when he did that, he was working with Unity Party. He wanted to maintain his position. So knowing fully well to participate in a crime and you cooperate with investigators, that cannot also exclude you that you did not commit a crime. You also commit a crime because you knew what you were doing, it was wrong.
Right.
Yeah. So when they did that, and they didn't listen, and I was saying they didn't listen to Musa Ding. And this is where the government, those Congo boys, this is that they operate differently. They will establish something of a kind of legitimate type. They will know if Alfonso get a business, if Terry get a business, they will come, they will make a clear-cut deal. Those things will come, they will give you that money, that goods will be delivered, it goes through the process, it's processed, and then they come back, they get their stuff. You get your cut. But how will I be selling Willow Market? You send about 200,000 stuff like thing to you. It doesn't make sense. That money was they wanted to use it for campaign. Musa Ding went to Lofa. This guy who was in jail now, the deputy minister, You can't have a minister proper who is in country, not out of the country, and then you say you want to you are acting. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Who gave you that authority? And this
Wow.
former representative from Sino, they just quickly went expedite it, get that money, and put it in. And this guy, this finance guy, who is already in jail now, so he knew everything. So when Boyka then came, when people found out that things falling apart and you want to remain the system, you already there and say, hey, but I know what's going on. And he gave those information that money it was in use, but yeah, what it is X, Y, Z, and that's how they followed the lead to get to it. So after that, too, he thought they were going to be in there and say, okay, you gotta stay here. You said you committed crime. But they knew all of this, that people, they were going to go after these things. And come on, how you can just take that kind of huge sum of money, you go put it there, that same day you go and just clear it like that. We don't know all of the details here. But that itself is a concern. And the investigators will follow it and they will get to the bottom line of it. So, and
Yeah,
that's
but the stealing, Mr. Stowe, was too broad. The way they did it is just easy to identify. They didn't even leave any, like what you're saying, right? No fallback position, no strategy as to cover up all the tracks. They just left everything open and hoping that it will just go away. That is not how people do it. They should have called Mr. Bacon at least to give them advice. But it did not.
Let's do it in the barroom instead of bringing them back.
But yeah, you need security people to tell you what to do. You can't be telling me that you just walked to the bank and took those lump sum of money and just left no way to cover it at all.
The problem is
that was very careless.
Derek,
Go ahead.
And then you're coming. I think Mr. So spoke to that problem. I think that the issue was these guys really believed that the second term was a guarantee.
Wow.
And that they were going to use that time to clear up, to start clearing their things. They really believe that after 12 years, McGill or 12 are going to be president, and cities are going to be power for 24 years. That's what they really believed.
I just told you. But let me say in reference to you, Mr. Collins. People commit crime, but the feeling weapon they place. But there's single little thing that they always made mistake of. All criminals always make a little sad mistake. Oh yes, there's little thing that you will overlook. That's the one. Maybe that in the hair fabric that will lead you to the crime. And also, they thought they cover all the loophole and everything. Brother, especially these days, it's not like before. We used to burn papers. Everything was paper. Now, everything is forensic.
But the final ministry catch a fire when the people let it play. Was it a document about burning?
But even if the document have burned, you still got a computer. Most of the things will put in the cloud these days and everything. So there's always forensic compared to the old days. When you burn the people, the document destroyed. You can't find it. But as we speak right now, even if we delete all these things, we can still go and get all the information that we say. Everything that we say here is recorded. So the forensic will always be there. So it will be a dumb something for them to say, oh, we're doing this and nobody's going to catch up. It's just dumb.
That's a serious, honestly, that's a serious problem.
It's a serious problem.
Don't be surprised. A lot of big names going to come out. And like what Sister said, when they start calling some of the closer allies, is that every time they call name, you're going to speak? So this thing should have been addressed by the party chairperson. When the party chair speaks, he speaks as more or less, he will be more political. You, as still a standard bearer who tries to seek re-election, let a little man spoil it, then you can come and calm it down. That's why they get a parable in the town, say, the old man in the town, you can't be the first to go see the ugliness of the bamboo. Their children then go for it. When they're going to go down, then you, the old man, go and fix it. But you, the old man, you jump there to go see, look at the ugly man here, look at the ugly man. When the children saying there, will you stop the children? You can't stop them. I think that could have been the role of the chairpersons of the party to galvanize. And, that's why it is not good to be reactionary. those kind of thing you want to do it, you find some of your, your bases where you still have your high loyalists, coordinate, take time, study the situation, see which direction, how it's going, well coordinated, you mobilize people, yeah, how they can transport their people as usual, all of the party, get good sizable number. But then you get a clue of how things going. Maybe even allow the court process to play out to see what are going to be a fair process or some sort of politics going to insight into it. Then when you speak, then people validate what you are saying, but not something that you yourself promised to do to fight corruption. And for whatever reason, you chose not to.
Right.
And the thing you set up a system, and you decide not to bother with that system that you set up, but the man who just came from nowhere decided to utilize that system. That's what happened. That's what happened. So it's not Boyka's creation.
But that was the thing I was saying, though. See, just think about the turnaround time. How long it took, how quickly they put this whole speech stuff together. You don't have to be in a hurry. Look, you are George Weah.
The line is open.
You don't take yourself that lightly. You are George Weah. I don't have to add any title to that. Former president, blah, blah, blah. Just say George Weah. You are George Weah. That name carries weight. You don't have to be in a hurry. And you don't have to be freely giving with your time. Mr. Former President, be stingy with your time. And when you show up to speak, because you are being so scarce, people will listen and you can take the time. And don't just have one person looking at issue. Have a small group of people that will critically look at issue and discuss it and push back on one another. And you take what is better and you move with it. You still have a critical voice, Mr. President. You still have a critical mass of people that believe in you and follow you. You are still the head of the leading opposition movement in Liberia. Don't take that lightly by allowing somebody to have a quick turnaround, 48 hours, 72 hours, and you deliver this kind of stuff. That was not respectful to you at all. Whoever put the president up to this did not do the president a service. And I'm saying this as somebody who doesn't, I've never voted for the CDC, but I understand the immense power of President Weah. And I think the people who put him up to this do not understand that. And they were doing it to be self-serving. Right. Because now it will come back to the same thing that happened between he and Alexander Cummings. Cummings thought he wrote, Cummings respond to the response, then he said, I want to move. The same military people want to move. When you get in there, we put it the whole day. You gotta be careful.
Let's pick this call out here. Let's see here. 719 number 0499. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, this is D, and I'm calling from Florida.
Okay,
this is so I want for you to be at least providing an overview of the entire show as the show continues, because I'm going to hear you talking about the speech, but we don't know, some of them know what prompted the speech. So at least provide a little overview momentarily so that when you people just join the show, they can just hear parts of the show. But based on what I've heard so far, this is not a witch hunt.
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead.
No, I want you to answer the question, then maybe I can proceed from that. What makes you guys think that the government is not witch hunting the past government? Because for what I'm listening to, it appears like the government is being honest.
But since you said it,
it's not a witch hunt.
Your own people doing the auditing. That's why it's not a witch hunt.
First, what happens, first and foremost, these documents, these revisions that they are on, not a creation. I put a person, I don't know what they're going. 717 number, just hold on to, going to call you. Are you there, caller? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The revisions, these documents that they are reviewing is not created by the just elected government. These cases were on the docket. It was within the purview of the outgoing administration to look at it based on what they told all that they were going to fight corruption. So they are just going in depth to document that they left on file. Now calling these people it does not necessarily mean a crime is already been committed, but it's a concern based on the document that is coming. So what we are saying here, for a former president to just come out like this and make this sort of statement that he is making, they can also call him for questioning, because they are security threat. He's a former president of the country, and he has supported. For you to say
you want to cause chaos,
you can say something, but more or less he should see himself as a diplomat. Yes. Not say we will resist, we will do this. It's a wish hunt. We didn't do it, and that what the people are doing, well, you chose not to do it because you felt what the people are doing, the people didn't do wrong. That's why you didn't do it. That's why you're telling me. When you were inaugurated, you told us corruption was going to be the greatest enemy, and you were going to fight corruption. You're going to do everything. You said the sitting president violated the Constitution. Yes, if the sitting president violated the Constitution, then you are simply telling me too, the Constitution was violated yesterday with the case of Milton Weeks and other. And it was put behind bar, and what happened at the end of the day? You decide to use your executive power and maybe to be conciliatory, and you drop these charges. So, I mean, there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things. So I don't, hold on, Aaron is calling. Let me just make sure I'm pulling on. Aaron, hold on, Mr. George, welcome to the show. Yeah, so that's how I see it. That's my view. That's my opinion. I don't see it as a witch hunt. There were things that they pile on their own decks, on their own fire. It is the same document that they are tracing, they are going. And I see that as a potential problem for this former president and his government, considering the fact one of his key ally, Minister of Finance, under his watch for all of these years, you have former CBL president, all of them to be called in. Then the question becomes, if anything proven to be right, on whose order these people were acting? You know?
Mr. So my issue with that is that we do not know what happening behind closed doors. We do not know what Joria is looking at. I mean, I'm not going to say that what he said might be reckless, but what happening behind closed doors? Even though it is the Baka government, but what happens if the Baka government is putting screens to make sure those guys come to book? Doesn't the Baka government have the power to prosecute?
I can tell what happening behind closed doors so we can know.
So the Baka government audit, and then government and the Baka government do that?
While the door closed, let you open the door, they can tell what happened inside the room, then we'll know. Then we'll say that.
Provision, let me put it personally. There is also provision to that part too here. And that's why we are saying all of this thing here, President, we are being the president to cut the cake. That's why you have an executive order. That's why you have even the legislature. You were more or less controlling. You had a speaker. If you knew all of these things here, but guess what? He decided to wave the flag. It doesn't mean you forgive me today, tomorrow I can forgive you. No. But like I honestly said yesterday, I think CDC felt it was locked down, and so there was no need. They were I don't think the folks to the president, they were really honest with President Weah. To be honest with you, they were never honest with him.
Let me make my final point real quick. I think the Baka government has the authority to still audit the AIM government and including the Joria government. If someone just comes to power, they know there was a government that was corrupt prior to my government. They start auditing my government, start bringing my guys to book. I just think that's a little red flag to me because we don't know what happened behind closed doors. If he has started for Ellen Johnson and what government officials, like you have always said, Ellen Johnson but he just jumped the job.
They also remember too, there's a provisions after 6 years. That's what I was saying. It was the president.
Statutes of limitation. So you sat on the audit report and time passed.
I don't agree with it because
limitation. You sat on the audit report.
Yeah, I don't agree with it because that's a recipe of corruption. But what I am saying, President, we are sure as a president should have done something as executive to lobby, to do whatever, even when require court to say, you know what, you can see millions of dollars 2 days yesterday. They say, oh, after 5 years, says yeah, we'll waive it. Oh, it's a recipe of chaos and corruption and impunity. That's why I see him. But he decided not to do it. So now he didn't do it. He allowed it to go away, and other people were caught, and nothing much was done. It's on your own commission, so it's just on you. But let's see here. Let's go to other caller here. I think the line is booming here this evening. So if you want to be there, just hang there. Let me go to the other callers here. 717. Now, hold on 1 second. Let's go to 717 number tie 290 now. Let's hear your caller. Then from there, I go to Aaron.
Yeah, this is James calling from Harrisville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just said it right. You come up on how to well it just say and what
don't call me too. You told me you
okay, Mr. So Mr. So okay, I'm a laborer man.
You can call him Jared Saint Antonio, you can call him Jerry back on toe. That's okay. I don't want to be told.
Okay, Mr. So sorry for that.
Actually, go ahead.
You know, you just said it right. You come about not the way they just say. Yeah, the come about if I saw the court. They still having president do. They come about the way they came by the kind of bad job here. Some of the same people. Then they listen men not to play the game. They're not seeing it can be too broke. Look at that kind of explanation one time Sunday 2 again. We was giving the money to money changer. People are not registered with government will go change money with them. Some of that explanation, does that fit a finance minister? You are say do economy, somebody that is not paying revenue to government, then you go give them money to change. What kind of economy you did? Somebody not registered to government, not paying no deal to government. They say give them money to change on the street. That one alone are going indictment for him for his speech. So they go after them, and when they go after them,
he gotta be very careful. Other than that, he end up being like Kroma and stuff like that. Because look, even if we saw here in the US, if once you are not in authority, forget it. The man who did it, he get an iron teeth, whether you like it or not. I don't care how strong you are. You cannot just fight the law. I mean, I'm not saying
you have
to do it. You can't do anything.
But Samuka, they put devil also, they put any kind of thing also. The devil went by answer. And Samuka, they say what they call you now, what do you see? They happy.
I learned they say the devil said resign from being devil. The devil that said it.
Yeah, they brought all the devil there. They said they bring devil to cabinet building up. But the devil need a cabinet building or 2 talks, they couldn't come. So all the devil then left behind the water, they couldn't come. The people are going there, they said, okay, we're waiting for you. The devil didn't come in time.
Okay,
all that thing that was synthetic go where they play too.
Thank you,
sir. So when no politics, he said he's not a politician. He's a footballer. Let him go play with football or let him do something like TV. This is a man that let me tell you, I said it to people. I said when Joseph Boakai play in agriculture, in Liberia, Nana, even Joseph Boakai know nothing about agriculture, he didn't lie to us. See how we are playing soccer. Nothing. What kind of medal do we have brought to Liberia? Not one medal. You get people that are not born in Liberia, bringing medal to Liberia. They will not get one medal. Not even bronze, not even copper, not, I don't know what it leaves element. So we're not bringing to Liberia. But they always say, we are doing Liberia on the map. What kind of map Liberia on? Liberia not play any semi-final in African competition. So we saw the map. They find Messi. Carry Argentina to final, to victory. Seven. What is Joe carry Liberia to? Nothing. But they always say Joe did well for Liberia. So what Joe did well for Liberia?
Okay, quickly, I want to go to the next caller. Where's the Gusa President we are?
President Weah, the Gusa is a criminal rule.
Oh my goodness. You are so ridiculous. Bye.
Bye.
Pat George, good evening. Welcome. Let me just go to the call out and I will come to you. Aaron, let's hear you quickly. And 202 number 612.
Hello, Mr. Soul.
How are you doing, Aaron? Welcome.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but something in the background or what did I?
I think that's my key.
Yeah, maybe if you can just moderate the volume a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I just did.
Let's hear.
I'm the just tonight. Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple of things. Number one, I listened to the show tonight. I just realized that this platform is a pro-government platform. I hope you're not. I hope you're not going to get mad at me. But let let me comment on a few things that was said here tonight. Number one, I listened to my brother say, you know, talking. I was writing some comments in the field, and he was responding to me, and he and myself were going back and forth. Number one says, look, President Weah is a Liberian, just like every other Liberian. The same way that President Joseph Boakai, who was former vice president at the time, went to the June 7 protest and commented, and you were all over the place making speeches in every protest or every program that the opposition were having. That's the same way President Weah has the same right to do that. So there's no difference in him coming up to speak today. So number two, the audit. Okay, let's agree that the audit that the government is going by was done by the auditors that President Weah appointed, right? So let them go through the entire audit. Okay, let them not pick the ones that happened between 2018 and to 2023. So I'm not saying. Let me finish. I'm not saying Minister Tuede are guilty and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. But what about the 170 million, okay, that was spent during the Unity Party government? Another corner of finance minister that don't have no trace of where the money went. Why they can't investigate that? This is what the CDC are saying. This is what former President Weah is saying.
But who had that audit report?
To audit corruption, or you want to go after corrupt people, do it holistically. So don't just get up and pick. Yes.
Let me ask you. So let me ask you a question.
I'm listening.
Do you think this amount, this figure that you're calling right now, do you think the former government, the CDC government, was aware of that?
Why the 170 million?
Yeah.
Yes, but this is what I want you to know, though.
No, wait. So they were aware. Was it a good thing or a bad thing for the country?
Explain to you. You gotta determine when the order the time the CDC government to the end of the CDC government leaving power. So you know, if the government is leaving power, the government becomes a lame dog. There's no way they can go after things that is supposed to go after. The government cannot even make any appointment during that time.
Definition of lame dog to investigate.
Lame dog. Of the orders came out. That's the first thing we're supposed to do when we come on this platform to tell the Liberian people what happened. But to sit on the platform and say, "Oh, President Weah was wrong for speaking," he didn't say nothing wrong today. All he said, no, I'm talking to one of your panelists, Cesar Guillen. All he said today was CDC was going to resist politically and legally. That's what he said. No. Cesar being the intellectual that he claimed to be, to come on the platform and be talking about President Weah should go. That's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. You're not supposed to be making no kind of comment. President Weah is authority of Liberia. He can speak to anyone else in the society just like everyone else. Just like everyone else. And Cesar always does that. He always come on the platform and try to denigrate other people, especially people from CDC. Anytime CDC have something, you want to denigrate them. He's not better than CDC. He's not more educated than CDC.
Do me a favor.
I want to tell him this tonight. He's not more educated than CDC. He's not more educated than even myself that's sitting here talking to him.
You want to have a debate? We can schedule one.
You can show?
I got an invitation. You can schedule a debate.
Thank you. That's my
Before the man hang up, tell him because he can't hear me. Please tell him. Let's schedule a debate on Lpr.
Listen,
I'm listening.
Yeah, it's the thing. For you to suggest that this government is a pro-government, and I think I've said this over and over.
So don't forget, tell the man he's more educated than me. I got a debate for him on LPR, or even we can go on Michael Goodman show.
No, you're going to
let me go drag in there so he will know.
So what I'm saying here,
Yeah, he always does that. He always feel like he's the more educated man. Educated like
Wrong problem. You must say we're in the same league. I will tell you that. If you think I'm lying, let's schedule a debate.
Okay, guys, let's keep it. Our audience, they can express their view. We will not agree with it, but it is what it is.
No, but Mr. To, nobody will come and disrespect me here and you say they're my audience. I don't
No.
do that. I can't. No, Mr. So, I know you're trying to do customer service, but not at my expense.
And downgrade.
I will tell you, and I'm playing football. I'm smarter than you. I will tell you that one. I'm smarter than you. You think I'm lying? Let's schedule a debate.
You see,
you don't have to support TDP.
Problem. Let's schedule a debate. I will do you just how you can play football. I'll help you.
It's wrong. Don't do that. Nobody on the panel does that just the way you do. Don't do that.
Problem. I've been telling you. Schedule one because you don't understand English. You came on the platform. What I said was that the president has the right to speak.
I mean, I don't have no problem with him.
You don't understand English. You're like, oh, you're bringing your foot and playing football. What I said was that the president has the right to speak.
Yeah,
because he's really critical. If you don't understand English, so that you probably have my fault.
We are not seeing what the president spoke, but the president sometimes are using a typical, what I would say, unpreparable yet. The old man in the town is the last one. He can be the last to see the ugliness of the bamboo. So we were saying, Cecil said, perhaps it was being the party chairman. I say yes, because you want to wait and see how it plays out. Then you. Then when you speak,
you think it was emotional, but it's not in the chat room, and I corrected in the chat room, so you still. I can joke with you and call you simple, but we're not the same.
Do you guys see how many things has been going on? All the things.
Let's call up, please. This is relevant to the issue.
You question my education, and I said, let's have a debate.
He spoke today. It's the right time to.
I have to go to the next caller. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me go.
Let's go to George. Let's go to George. I mean, George been here. Let's see what George.
No, after the two callers, they'll come to George. 202-2214. Go ahead, make your call point, and I will go to 612.
Yeah, hello. This is President Paul.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the show. You know, I'm not sure today. Mr. So, I want to say where you come from. I want to see your point.
You quiet to know. I see your text here. You quiet.
Your point.
Wait, I
want you to move into.
Can he make his point so that we go to the next?
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I don't see your point. Your point is why the government or why the president will not prosecute in the past government. That is your point. So, anything I say, I understand. Your major point is why you don't audit or why you don't implement all those audits that was passed. They did pass government in during time. But the issue is there's a change that came in power because of those mistakes or those things that we wanted. That's why the change came. I said there's a change in power now, change in the country because of this thing that people criticize was undone. But why they got changed? They got changed. They changed them. And this is the issue. I hear people saying, and start your limitation. The law say, any case that not be touched, that not be audit, anything that not be audit, after 5 years, you cannot audit it. But if they audit, it's on your docket to be implemented. Any year, any amount of years pass, you should implement it.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. Honored President Weah, was there anything on the docket that was charged?
Oh, that's it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
Listen to me. And I said to Jenna, I want to say it's different because President Weah never implement those cases that are on docket.
Why?
Those audits.
Why?
That's what why? If give me a while, I will need. Give me 5 minutes to do it.
No, I'm not going to give 5 minutes. We'll get to
give me 5 minutes. Let me run a business.
Make your
business. No, that was something that passed by. I don't know to tell you. Listen, you talking about audits. The CBL audit, I just with nothing. It's Baga regime. You get the audit. The FIU audit is Baga regime. It's not Kika regime. The audit just recently. The CBL official keep the still statement as the former president in the Baga statement, the way the CBL audit came from. The FIU audit came from the same thing. So nobody can tell me say there was a power regime. There's all this from the current regime.
Okay,
so look,
bye.
So, no. I believe you know everything.
That is second because you.
No. You see, I want to go further without argument about.
Going further, we'll run by time here. We're not going to be repeating ourselves.
Listen, my brothers, being eloquent or speaking in real does not make you be more educated than others person. You are not. You see you. Is it Dualo? You. Therefore, you are that respect for you guys. But when you make yourself like that, will prevent nothing. I guess I was so straight. I was showing.
But Aaron was the one who challenged the man. The man didn't say anything.
If you go back it, brother, you know the other things. I ain't worried about
it. You complain about what person talking.
But
you gotta stand there.
Gotta go. I mean, we're not going to call something here. We call people here to talk things of substance. Can be putting go from potato farm to better ball farm. I'm not here for that.
But the funny thing is, how many times on this platform have I talked about what my education, what I know? That problem ain't running around with it. If you threaten by me, Aaron problem, I'm a problem with you problem with. I didn't spend my time, I didn't get my brain, my foot. Yeah.
612 number 6485. Thank you so much for being patient. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Stowe. Good evening to everybody. My name is Terry Falabundo, call from Minnesota, Minneapolis. And this is my date here show. I normally follow the program, but it's my first time calling and I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
Thanks for everything you guys do for the
Sorry for first knee, then you go put a heavy knee behind it.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine. So, yeah, quickly. Two quick, really quick observations. I think you gave some of the colors more time on the program, and sometimes you just get bored when you go back and forth with them. And then number two, I think the colors should show respect to the panelists. And tonight, I did not see anything denigrating that Sissy said that Aaron was coming at him personally about. Well, that's just on the other side. To my point, Mr. So, and the rest of the people listening to us because the diaspora, Liberia needs to move forward. And to do that, we need to set examples on people. Right. Precedents need to be set. Audit is the way forward. George Weah graded Ellen Salif 85% when he was in power. When she was in power, he was coming in. Who knows what it went and talk behind closed doors? Maybe that's why Ellen today did not allow Brother to win elections if he jumped behind George Weah because George Weah probably had promised her, look, madam, I will protect you. And we saw it when he even arrested the lecturers of Salif. He freed him in no time. They were in jail only a few days when they were gone. And they were indicted. They were Harvard, Salif, and the rest is history. So my point here is, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, cool. So my point here is the people that see you talk about John small. See everyone tonight getting under his skin, being unprofessional, using all kind of language on the program. The program that's 10 now. Someone started from the back, will watch it. What can I be talking? Oh, no, I know more than me. That's what I'm talking to say, you gotta talk down on there. Let's keep the progress tender. Let's put them on Liberia. We all love Liberia from different angles. We all love Baka because of the stance he's taking today. And tomorrow, if Baka leaves power, the next government will order him too. And I'm going to for us, sir. So that's why that rogues are getting better. Tomorrow, the next government, let them put but let them order Baka too. And it was also said the determined to current government officials because if they see what Baka is doing to the previous one, everybody will put a set together and will say, no, if I do it tomorrow, it will happen to me too. And the country will get better. So audit is the way forward. So lastly, sir, before I go, you say, the all cases in Liberia, they have also the same say who threw the cookies on the cookie jar. Number one, threw the cookie. Who mean yes, it couldn't be then who? Number two, if Joy Monowia hands not in the cookie jar, he will not be supporting Samuel to end with that. He's supporting to corrupt himself because he know everything he did, he knew about it. Thank you for the time, so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay.
He's supporting to corrupt himself because he knew everything
Thank you so much. 719, 30 seconds. I want to go back to my panelists. We're going to be wrapping up at 10 o'clock. Let's
Yes.
fanatic.
Mr. So I do believe that when Joria took over, maybe there were some UP cases on file that he didn't really go after.
Why?
And the fact that
why you think he didn't do that?
I'm speculating. Oh. Maybe there was a bargain behind closed door, Mr. So we don't know what happened behind closed door. We're just speaking based on what we see.
So
that we able to make some logical conclusions.
That means it does been closed for a long time.
Yeah, so who know that there were some cases that he could have prosecuted, but he didn't do them. Now UPC cases on file about Jawia and going after them, coming down cherry picking. Even as corrupt as those guys are, if you start picking cases that just fit your narrative, who know what happened behind closed door? Maybe Jawia seen what we're not seeing. As much as those guys that have been caught are corrupt, even the Jawia government was corrupt. But like I said, we do not know what happened behind closed door, so we cannot just say Jawia is being very erratic with some of his statements. Maybe he got evidence that he's being wishful. You never know. But I will sit back and listen, man. Thanks for the show.
Okay, so we have as the last caller for the night. So with sometimes I know the air gets on people's skin. Amos George.
Yeah, thank you for putting me in the back.
We back again. That's something too. I think
good evening, sister.
We have an idea where we are heading as a people, as a nation too. So I think it's a wonderful experience. Sometimes we gotta hear from our people whether it's good or bad. But let me hear you.
Well, I'm coming with some Sunday school words. So, but let me try to lay something down here. People cannot circumvent the law when it's not in favor of them. And this is what I see some low-level institution doing. It is clear, Liberian criminal procedure law say, after 5 years, you can't go back to try anybody. Breakable saying, the law say, if the order is not done, it's not touched, if it's done, they didn't touch it, you can go ahead. No. Breakable quote me that law that said that. And we should not allow the laws of institutions, the weird shame, to get away with this thing, to run with it. We should not allow it. The law is clear on that. After 5 years, you didn't take that case, you can't go back 6, 7 years, you cannot go back there. It is a statute. Sedition we should not let people, they should not come here to confuse people. No. If we are started a proceeding, taking people to court, Joseph Walker come and say, no, I will not touch it, then we'll say no. But what the thought, and some of you have said it, what the thought was, they were fool the Liberian people. They say we're auditing, and we'll audit, we'll just put everything out because we win the next election. So we will not touch it. That will be 12 there. When some of you get there on that time monkey, they will not touch it because the statute of limitation has expired. This is the technique they were using. So we have to make this thing very clear. And George Weah's speech today, I told people before, George Weah is a violent person. I continue to say the thing here. I always seen this thing here. When this boy used to put people in the street, Black Street, what is that? What was he? He was the party stand-up barrel. And one officer, he's peaceful. If you are leading an institution that people with black robes, they will burn tire. Is that someone being peaceful, my people? So I don't know. The people, for me, I have always maintained my position. I said, John is someone who is violent, and I will continue to maintain my stand based on what I have seen people doing. The speech he gave was very inciting. But I want to tell those people who say flesh and blood, they will die. Nobody again in Liberia that we will sit down there to cause chaos and we will run again. No. It's not for the country, it's not for one group of people. It's for all of us. And when we put you, I said it yesterday, this was an opportunity for George Weah. It was a privilege to serve as president. It's not his right. So the people that put you there, they can remove you. And if they remove you, if there's a need to account for your stewardship, the law gave us the right to look at your past. The Constitution provides for us. There's a provision there. But this term they are taking from Donald Trump, the witch hunting. The witch hunting. What is witch hunting? George Weah, 2017, Vanny Sherman were in court. Tyler, Edwin Snow. Did the CDC government follow that case? No, they got the case. Let people walk free. Under George Weah administration. What is this political piece that he's talking about? That did not cause no trouble, they didn't put nobody in jail? No. Under George Weah, the boy that lived 12-year-old boy number 7 was killed by police. We don't know what today, we don't know. The officer was not prosecuted. 3 young men disappeared in Liberia. Under George Weah, nobody can account for them. George Weah, 4 auditors within less than a month were killed under him. This lie, they got to stop it. That the chase institution are in Monrovia. What is the record of proof that sedition have been chased in Monrovia? What is the record? You can't just and throw some nonsense out there and you expect someone else to buy into it. This is the incitement that they are doing. But they got all the children in America and Ghana and Togo. Kenya going to school. And you got any low-hanging fruits, jumping into the gold and wasting the time. That tomorrow when George Weah children come back to Liberia, they will take over the government. They will work against ministers, directors. And they will stay there to be driving car for them and calling them, walking to the office, boss me a year. I used to be with your papi. This is nonsense. We got to call these people out. We all should wait. Let the court system play out. And let's see how these people will be tried. But let me just close on a note. The reason that they say you're not seeing so many hierarchy of CDC, some of them in worry. Because I was trying to reason, but I didn't complete that story today about the executive mansion audit on Nathaniel Mangale. There are some figures coming up. So Mangale himself worried. They had not gone to the port where Begube Jr. was there. So the guy got to be looking behind himself.
That papa is slow, but you know that he's sure.
Yeah, they just looking all the show. If you put yourself at the front, they must feed out your case. Then you want to talk too much.
So meaning Eugene said thinking how the shape them been going in and coming out.
So Eugene my legs fall inside. Is that what he's saying,
Paja? No, I'm not saying you will fall inside, but they got order maritime.
Also just for himself.
Yeah, everybody for themselves.
Everybody for themselves, go for all.
So you know the other day, let me just someone told me, Joe, we are called Begube Jr. Bro try to say, Mama, what happened? I can't say Begube said, I sent it out basically tomorrow, sir. I got time now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Allah, man. What?
Okay. Serious business.
Wow.
So, Bill, I can't see those, I sent it out, I basically too much. But let me say,
it will be more complicated to try Begube Jr. and the Porcupine because they have plugged themselves in the Senate. That was the protection they went for. So for theirs will be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, but so let me just say this. So we have to be very careful. These people who think Now, if we are Islam leader Liberia will not exist, fallacy, get over it. They're not coming back. We're going to bring new breed of people 2029. George, we are, as Kalako said, you saw that video today about Kalako says back on?
Mm-hmm.
He said, George, we have made a mistake. George, we have told him that he made a mistake to turn over power. Carrasco.
What? He said that?
I'm telling you, the last time I told you on the show, I said, oh God, after 6 months, they will sink in.
Right.
I said it last time. Now they see that power is coming from them. And but you know, nobody, all these things are computer. So to cover is very hard. You try, but it's a huge 6.20 million group of people just take it and use it. And hospitals, schools, roads. Children are sitting on the floor today when it rains. They cannot sit in class. Or can't sit in classes. And some people got the audacity, the nerve to just take money from government coffers and walk away. And they say, oh, don't question me. George, we asked it last time, the video there. Now, why Joseph Walker want to audit his government, but he did not audit any government? He said it last time, the video there. He said it. He said it, video there.
He don't know why African leaders hold power.
No, it's not African
leaders. Just getting to know.
It's not African leaders. Joseph Walker was one of Joseph Walker think that he will audit the government. He did not hide it from the Liberian people.
No, I know, but President Weah is regretting why he turned over power.
But how you not tell over the election was not won?
That the gentleman agreement he had with Ellie, that he didn't prosecute Ellie, it's a gentleman arrangement.
Right.
So that's
now he will prosecute the government, he will audit the government. He said it.
That's what he said, yeah. But most African leaders compromise it. So
well, that one is an obituary announcement now. I mean, it's just sad because first of all, this guy was seeking, he was contesting, he presided over a Senate that also carried on sort of crazy concession, and you have all of these documents, and I was asking, oh, you decided to well, say you put a white flag for ICOMO and United Nations Peacekeeping Force. Boy can say, get it.
No, because we're not getting clear here. Presiding over
Bogara Ibaya Kuma. You know what they call Baya Kuma?
Documents, all the deals we talk
people
about.
Food there.
All the deals we talk about.
Vote is
be honest here. Let I address something here. George Weah was in the Senate. Destin Sibo was in the House of Representatives. Thomas Fire was in the House of Representatives. Along with Akaya Gray, one of the smartest guys in the CGC, Akaya Gray, were there. And they sat down. They ratified a document and want to say that Joseph Walker was the one who did everything. Joseph Walker was the presiding officer.
Without a vote, unless there's a tie. So he never voted on anything.
That's it. So it only got sat down there and they signed the document, they ratified it. Why you want to blame Joseph Walker?
Well, guys, let's wrap it up for the event. I mean, they just got to deal with it. I just 2 persons there, so I don't know what will happen when more names start filtering in. Then that means people
they will jump in the street.
Better don't get yourself high blood pressure before you even see the end of the case, because
they will jump into the street. This is the scare tactics that I said they were going to do. Yesterday I said it. I said they will come with scare tactics, and exactly that's what George Weah came with. But back on used to advise George Weah how to come up with the tactics. 2017. Go intimidate.
You leave Mr. Bacon to them.
No, you were there.
Show the people how to destroy evidence. Then you come out.
He was saying, put it on the street, not intimidate.
But you're added to you. No, that trouble now you coming. This is our security advisor. We got to take that one, please.
He was there. He the one to tell you we are popular in the street.
Mr. Bacon. Mr. Bacon.
Yes, sir.
That true? That you brought it headed to town? We got 1 more minute each before we go. Terry, you want to go first?
Yeah, no problem. I can go first. My takeaway from this thing is that President Bokar have played a political hand that were giving ease from the major opposition party because they have been in his neck they few days. They been inside his Google. So he just acting like he even know. He get a pass. He passing all around talking different things. Whether President Weah said that, he said nothing. He just talking a basic thing. That is how guru political leader behave.
But
why open? That open get too much sense. So what I'm seeing here, he have played a political hand now. CDC is on the defense. And that is just where we need them. The only thing is, you have to be careful because you see, you are auditing people is fine, but there are also loopholes you are opening also. You must realize that you only get 5 more years in power. If you play your hand rightly, there's a possibility that extension could occur and the next group will not be talking about auditing because if your man
yeah, Terry,
if your man win, if what he name the VP, if the VP win the election, definitely he's not going to audit Joseph Boakai government. You understand that? But if Joseph Boakai, His Excellency, loses these elections, or Jeremiah Kun loses the election for 2029, the next coming government will audit because now
you will come to your inauguration, how the money that your party chairman then will come for
now I say, now there is a precedent President Boakai is about to set that every other political leader will have to follow, which is my takeaway, which I'm praying for, that he need to establish these things, because even if he don't, every political leader eyes have opened now that this is the loophole, and we will throw our net there. Because if he don't do this, he is between a rock and a hard place. If he don't do this, the next coming government will do it because the people will feel disenchanted that he didn't audit CDC government, he corrupt, blah, blah, blah. So if he don't do it, the next government will audit him. If he does it, the next incoming government will have to follow suit to audit. The only thing he should pray for, that the next coming government should be a government that he steps in. Thank you.
Now, let me see if I forget my talk. Let me go. Let me tell you, Terry.
All right, to cover up.
Yeah, let me tell you something, Terry.
Pastor, how you can
Joseph Boakai, the president, President Boakai, he told CDC, "You'll come and audit me." He said it. He said, "You'll come and audit me." Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said, "You'll come and audit me." They gave them an invitation. They didn't put out, they didn't say don't, they didn't go to make speech like George Weah. Joseph Boakai, he's on tape. He said, "You'll come and audit me." So if Joseph Boakai leaves power, if Jeremiah Kun wins, he can ask for audit. If a minister in government stole, they can hold that minister responsible. But I don't know why former President George Weah is so jittery. If he said that he had not stolen anything from the Liberian people. So if they indict your national security advisor, they invite your assistant solicitor general, they indict your minister of finance, the guy from the intelligence unit, financial intelligence unit, Moses Cooper. If they indict all the people, and you did not put your hand in the cookie jar, all I expected him to say, "I will urge all my ministers or directors or whomever work for me to cooperate with the investigation and let's see how this thing will play out." But to issue a threat, it leaves me to say George Weah is worried. Because at the end of the day, the transfer of money, if Samuel Tuer was just acting lonely, then Samuel Tuer will be responsible. It is bank governor was acting unilaterally, then he deserved to go to Belayala. Then I will support Mali that we should get rid of him. We should rebuild Belayala.
They must Joyce.
See the security people, Mr. So on the show, they don't behave fine. You see what Pat Joe recommending? Better Yala.
My man, let me tell Terry. If a child is sitting down, beating them, they can't find here to sit
No,
down.
I understand. I'm just joking.
No.
I agree with you.
Yeah, no.
I do agree with Better Yala, but I agree
If a child is sitting down,
with your position.
Cannot sit down to learn.
Mr. Bakon, then Sissy. Bakon, your last word.
Yes, thank you. It's an interesting show tonight. It's very, very good. Like our former president said, Taylor said, I will be the whipping boy tonight. That's fine.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Well, you see, CDC, the lack of talking point. They might have a good case, but because of the presentation, make them to lose a case all the time. What do I say that? CDC. Josh Weir. Josh Weir is not a person who, I said it yesterday, is very stubborn. He's a stubborn dude. And with all the stubbornness, not going to carry. I mean, he's former president already, but now we are going to a different arena, which is the legal process. And I said it last night. It's about time for us to look at our judicial system, where it will carry the case or the cases that are yet to come. And hopefully, our judicial system will be independent, because it has some issues where people really don't agree with somebody ruling or they're funny. But I mean, that's what the criminal justice system is all about. You know, like the late Josiah Johnson said, it's a brisket. The plate you can hold it sometimes you don't break there. Yeah. So let's get a popcorn. Go in the store, buy a popcorn. And put a TV on and watch a game. Let's see how you play it out.
Yeah, but you read though you're cursing.
I mean, I admit it. You must say we are related. If you watch the video,
because what he said, what I said, he said exactly again to put it for him up.
Yeah, that man, less smart people. That's the problem. You see, man, Mr. Bakon, great. You know, you have the kind of people around you that give you proper advice. You made the right decision, but I don't know. President, I don't know.
Eugene Nangbe wrote that speech.
But yeah, Eugene Nangbe said, "We're not even getting along just because you're going to be president."
But Eugene Nangbe been holding the man, traveling there.
That's a whole story. You know, it's over time and anyway. So we can go back. I'm done.
Mr. Goya.
Yes, you made Mr. So to take off his glasses. They don't think what you're doing, your sedition is not. Because now Mr. So I take off his this is my first time.
They say your sedition.
The people may take off his glasses.
So my last piece is, look, we're hearing a lot of things about something behind closed door.
That door open one day. That door open.
And I'm about to say something again. Then people get intimidated and say, "I think I'm smart." It's not that I think I'm smart. It's just like stuff makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to you, that's on you. But how do you expect me to form an opinion on something that you don't put in the public? They say that's something the man doing behind closed door.
You don't even know it.
If you ain't open that door, I don't know it there. Maybe
that's so bullshit.
That's so closed for too long. So you need to, when you open it,
but the problem that they ain't going to so bullshit, they don't need it there.
Then we'll talk about it. Look, people are talking about the audit report and how the president might not have had enough report on his desk for Ellington. Let me just remind people that most recently, before President Weah left office, remember the LSCC report about the Ministry of Agriculture?
Yeah.
And he inserted himself into and changed that whole investigation. He inserted himself, the executive, into that. So people thought that they were going to win elections and these audit reports were going to be just like the Agricultural Ministry audit report was going to go nowhere. And now they're claiming witch hunt. Look, I think to Terry's point, he made a great point about Boakai opening loophole, but I think President Boakai is about his legacy.
That's it.
And I think that's the reason he's doing this, because he wants even people serving in his government to understand that if you don't do something proper, when other people can do it, can order you too.
I applaud that. I applaud that.
So this is not just for the CDC. It's for my man. You in government now. You know, if you taking the fresh shot at people, you do your own integration and when time the people drag you in the same way. So the people keep talking. Ellen government, Ellen Stone, don't have all these things. Ellen and former President Sirleaf and then Vice President Boakai begged the CDC to audit them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when the porcupine was domesticated, he asked for his day in court, even in Liberia when they asked for his resignation. But sadly, the CDC largely does not like to go through audit because they got to provide data and then we got to analyze it. And then maybe we will show that, a data they received from Claudia a building project where you pay 74,000 or 74,000, but you owe 75,000. And so they would much rather just allow speculations to abound and live over people so they can live in gossip. You took the former president's son and carried him to prison, and you said that you were prosecuting him for corruption. Where did that case go? You took the man money while you were in jail.
It empty man bank account.
What was the end of it? You prosecuted Brownie Samoka because you couldn't beat him at the ballot box in Lofa County. You went after him and you made sure he didn't take a seat. Was that not witch hunting? So for me, I'm still trying to connect the logical dots. But Terry said something, and I wanted to point it out really quick. It is a good thing to go to court, like the president is doing. I think they also have to be on the information side, making sure that those 50 people that were in our room today, that the next time another press conference comes, it will be 20. And the only way you can do that is I did speak to an assistant deputy minister of information the other day. I was talking to him about it. Is you have to explain to the Liberian people the effect of corruption in dollars and cents, and bring the Liberian people along with you. If a group of people are being accused of taking $6.5 million or $6.1 million, which is more than the amount of money that a proper agenda put into agriculture. So few people took more money than the whole country was giving for agriculture. $6.1 million would have been money that would have funded JFK and made sure that a lot of people were not dying from curable illnesses at JFK. $6.5 million could have provided schools so that D2 then, we ain't thinking about relocating D2 High School because of the erosion. $6.5 million would have paid a lot of those volunteer teachers that we have. You have to explain this in real terms to the Liberian people, so that the next time when the CDC is organizing their mass rallies around the places, the people understand that you don't want to steal their money. My daughter should have been in school where they get light. Instead of coming home and say no good school today because it's raining. My wife would have had our child without dying in childbirth because we would have had clinics and hospitals here. These people will be able to understand that. But as it is right now, folks talk about corruption on an intellectual level, and they have to get away from that to talk to common people, let them understand why somebody taking $6 million on their own affects all of them, even those people living in Stoney where the park can get boss and people water run up and down. Explain to them what that means. so that the next time the people call a program and say, oh, the poor wish on me because I stole $10 million, get them back, bring the money back. We're not coming outside for you because you are storing that money. This will happen. For me, that's the end of it. You know, I think the Boakai government has not hunted any witches yet.
No.
And for me, anybody who steals $6.1 million from Lebron, you are a witch.
You're a witch. You're a witch. And development and corruption are intertwined. Because if you corrupt, there'll be no progress. So progress and corruption, they are intertwined. Because when you take that money off, no development.
I don't think somebody should even panic if you didn't do any wrong. You go through the course.
No, so this is the target job we are know, the CDC know, to intimidate people. That's what it is to do to Ellen.
But I mean, I know maybe around. I'm not really.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful before he get himself into trouble. You don't want to be like, and I say, yeah, being a former president, it doesn't mean you have that immunity that you can't appear before the law, especially when you start making comments, you start saying things. You should be concerned calling your former finance minister and governor of a bank, and they go through the records and the CD's disbursement. The question to them will be, who authorized you? And that's
Mr. So.
That's a question.
George, we are here is in the cookie. That's what he's panicking for.
I don't know about that yet.
Okay, well, that's my view. Because why would he come up to start? Why would he come up to start swinging like this?
You guys in Atlanta, Georgia, this time around, nobody going to take any vote. We'll watch you.
No, we're protecting our vote. That's why we see Donald Trump is on a he now. Because Omen Joe, he thought he was going to get face Omen Joe.
Oh, different halabaloo in the other thing.
Yeah, he thought he was going to face Omen Joe.
You think Amina is able to win that thing?
Forget it.
Watch it and see.
Watch it. He thought Omen Joe. He thought he was going to face Omen Joe.
All of the battleground polls that come up show her winning him in all the battleground states.
Terry.
It will be almost like Hillary Clinton.
No, Terry. Listen, Terry. When Joe Biden was still on the ticket, I was down hard there. But I ain't got no choice. I was still going to vote. But when Sen Kamala took over,
you're dying, say you're still going to put in the wheelbarrow and carry into the.
I was still going to vote the blank seat over the orange team. It's just my own side.
We get Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and what the other place, Arizona. Who this guy lady would you think going to go with? Who is?
I don't think she would take Michigan. I don't think she would want to have two women on the ballot.
I think I would go with from Philadelphia.
Gretchen Whitmer would not want to even leave her seat.
No.
She started a Democratic majority in that state.
Because
to do that, and you have two women on the ballot, that would be really tough.
Because this guy from Philadelphia, he's very popular.
Shapiro.
He's very popular with Republicans and Democrats. I think he 60% or 60%. So for me, I lean to Washington.
But our governor is also being mentioned in Minnesota.
Yeah. People looking into Minnesota. Yeah.
No, we're not going with Minnesota.
Yeah. Why you want to go Midwest?
Because the governor here, because of his military record and he was a former school teacher, he served as a representative for a long time, also has a stretch into Iowa. So the idea is you take Minnesota, it's easy to take Iowa, and Wisconsin is it becomes
Wisconsin is a huge state.
But this guy from Pennsylvania also got a stretch in this place in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why
those are the battle states.
And Philadelphia is about 19 electoral votes.
He's a Jewish guy, right? Shapiro?
Yeah, Jewish. But Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is about 19 electoral votes.
Yeah. It's gonna be game. We're gonna be deep in the campaign. I'm just gonna start saying it out here. We've had phone calls. We are gonna be big and deep in it. And
guys,
Terry, this election would have said consequential, but just 1 year.
So we should.
For me, I'm not seeing nothing yet, so I can't speak to it. I don't want to send go on people because
You want
Yeah,
them
so true,
I
Danny.
want them go out in America because it will not work here.
Send
That only in Africa that thing.
listen, send go to JT fan who say when women who don't have children,
You know,
they,
one of my Philip people say, you ain't to me, he said, Brabio. He said, they feed the Brabio, I want 1 euro. Who are July? Don't be going to your meal back. Have a bit fail you, that's saying, go on. Pastor, you messing with. So, I said, oh, the mess ain't even know. He said,
Look, have a pleasant evening.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. So.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
And his liberal will be here again tomorrow with their Tabata. Anyways,
Labor resisted on FBS today. The people go put Labor in the back for 45 minutes. Oh, Labor got pissed off. Yeah, Labor got pissed off. Labor said,
I was out with my family. I was out with my family. Then I saw a text message. Where you at? So I said, I'm out with family today. I come here to the show today. But I didn't watch the show. I didn't know Labor resisted.
oh no, Labor pushed back.
No, but they have a way on that show, and that's time I told them in the back. People that are in studio get given more time than people that
right. But you know what they said? They said that
window dress,
they said they had a network problem. But even if you did, you can text in the chat room and tell your colleagues that we're having a network problem if you don't want to say it. But they kept going back and forth. That was not professional.
Jerry, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, let them window dress them every day when they go there. Let them keep them in the back for 1 hour.
They can't window dress me. You know my window muff. Who can window dress me and go through here?
I want to let Chakra there. So
look at him. He greeted. He want me to be here every day. So he wishing for that.
Hey, looking at Mr. Someone saying go out on our show. Because
yes.
Wow, Vandera Patrick then pushing the same line that Joseph Barker Mobo already had in government. What happened there? Patrick then pushing this line.
Well, Vandera is a politician.
Right.
He just ran for office and he stay eyeing another run. So a lot of the time, even if you don't, and I'm not saying that he doesn't believe what he's saying, but from when I put on my political hat as a politician, if I were in his position and I'm thinking of running, I will try to repeat a lot of things that are popular. And I'll do my own straw polling in my own community that I'm hoping to run. And if that makes me look like one of them, even though I don't believe it, I say it. You know, okay. I'm not claiming that that's what's happening, but
no. I just anyway, that Republican star.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
That's a Republican star. Say something that is not true and just continue to palm on it.
But
the man is an advocate too. The man is an advocate. He advocating for.
But you know that's sedition, that old sedition.
Liberia is a complex case.
But Vela have improved now. He have improved greatly.
You can't before we go asking the man you are asking for. Where is he? You are asking for some politician here. Yeah, a man here. You can't ask him before we go.
You're asking for again.
Terry, we're asking for.
Oh, Terry say what happened to the Ferrari? He said they either want to take and took the engine from inside.
Oh, no, the Ferrari in the garage.
I gotta go, man.
I've already packed in the garage.
Esther, I'm talking Esther.
Let's get that by. Okay, folks, that does it this evening. To all of our followers, we want to thank you so much for your time. We extremely went over the time, but it's what it is for the country. And again, Aaron, the notion, it had to erase people's perception, the notion or the mindset that, oh, this is pro-government. I don't know is whether that tonight become pro-government. But I can tell you we are not a resistant, neither to government or oppositions. Sometimes we discuss these critical issues. And that's my view. You can agree with it or disagree with it. I mean, the president, people from day one, his follower, people that think he confide in to kind of help him, apparently they like him done. And so we want to see more of this. If I were in his shoe, you just remain quiet, observe the process. You want to speak, that when you speak, your voice will be validated. People will see it. But those are things that you frown on. Those are things that you say you were going to pursue and you did not. Now, you can't blame them. You can't blame them. The mistake started from day one, even when you won the election. Somebody you contested and you came to power and you look at some strategic ministry of information, somebody that's supposed to be speaking for your government, and you allow the persons from the opposition stay on. Those are indicators of as if somebody was not prepared, they were just picking chance, and so they were using that time to kind of like adjust themselves. That's how free thinker people like, oh, we want to believe it. There were a lot of mistakes. And you've been in the opposition. You fought for these things over years and years, from presidential to vice presidential and later on. And people around you, they didn't do you a service to properly manage your first year, and everything just went like that. There was no other strategist. There was no strategic plan. They just thought of one way, this is what's going to happen. Not knowing life, there are uncertainties and time has involved. And so here we are. I think it's damaging. It's troubling. If I were in the shoe of the president, I would worry that if you can have your finance minister, bank governance, and seeing all of these trademarks, transactions, or whatever that is flowing, the question to these people, if they were to go before the court, who authorized, on whose authorization these payments were disbursed? And if they were to call, say, the president, the former president of the Republic of Liberia, whether you are in heavens, on earth, whatever planet you will be called in, no one is above the law. And like we said, probably what been the positions of the party chairman to throw the sort of red meat that you throw out there today, and you wait. And then when things try to go offhand, and in the final analysis, you as the standard bearer, you can come and stabilize it. But you were the first to unleash. So even what happens if they call in another 2, 3 more hierarchies from your government? Will you come back again to have another press statement? And people will not even want to pay attention. Oh, that's the same thing he said the other day. You're going to say. So you got to be very, very, very strategic. When they say the former president is speaking, you want it to grasp the attentions of the nations and media institution so that it will be the talking point of it. But today, that's my view, that's my opinion. I think there were a lot of things there which was disingenuous. Telling the president that he's violated the Constitution, then of course he did, because you fire people you also remove people who are attending position. You say you're going to go fight the corruption. That did not happen. People were corrupt. They were thrown in jail out of the sudden few weeks, month. They were let go. Charges were dropped. That was not what you promised. And so here we are today. Honestly, I don't know what's going to be the future of the party, because 100 reports, that's huge. We don't know all. We don't know yet. There are a lot of names filtering, but we're going to wait and see. And if that comes to pass, then the future of the party it will be at stake. Because people who are to sustain the party, people who are the right faces of the party, if they cannot support and they find themselves elsewhere to be going through court system, finding legal representation, how can they manage and contain the party? On that note, we want to thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. The Liberal Progressive will be here tomorrow. Bye-bye.